What happened? Come on. Wow. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's see. Is there somebody else here? I'm sorry. I don't know why we got, it didn't seem like I think they're changing rules here. Okay. All right. I think that's everybody.
Did everybody get kicked off or just me?
We all did.
Right.
Yeah, we're all back.
We're all
Okay.
back. Two of them are attempting to be back. I'm looking at the bottom here.
Can I make a quick comment?
Sure, go ahead.
I just really enjoyed your book, and the one thing I noticed, it actually stuck with me, is Lila's boyfriend Joe. Is it Joe?
Joe.
Yeah, Joe Top. Yeah.
You made a mention that he has to go. He was going to do he's a reporter, and he's going to go report on the. Oh gosh, I forgot the name of it. The pipeline, the Dakota pipeline, right? The Keystone Pipeline.
Oh yeah.
I didn't actually say Keystone, but yeah.
You didn't say Keystone?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew it was the Keystone. For some reason, that just stuck with me because I remember seeing that in the news, and I was just wondering if you're just trying to tie real life events into the story.
No, actually, I wanted to give Joe an assignment that would take him out of Minnesota so that he would not be around to save the day. I didn't want him anywhere near Lila.
Okay.
I wanted Lila to stand over around for 2
that's
feet.
what I thought.
And I thought if I give him this story about a pipeline, there's always going to be a pipeline in Dakota that's at issue. So I was hoping not to date the book by doing that, because I think 10 years from now, they're still going to be fighting over pipelines in Dakota.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And Edie I don't know where she went. I think we lost her. She had the question. I also wondered about his hiding place for his computer under the kitchen cabinets. Of course, the computer was gone, but the hiding place, I guess she wants to know what happened to that. I'm not quite sure.
Basically, I walked around my house and I thought, if I'm going to hide a small laptop computer, where would I hide it at? And I would just take the kick plate off underneath my Lazy Susan and slide it under there. And that's where I would keep it. Whether that's a good place or not, I don't know, but that's where I would hide it in my own house. So now that you know where to look at my house.
Well, I have a couple of questions. Does anybody else have questions? Just improv. You can go ahead and ask it. We have some time now. Does anybody have a question? Shannon? No? Okay, well, I have a question. My question is about you, about writing your novel. How many times do you edit your books? Do you edit a lot?
Oh, yes, especially the first chapter. I find that I edit the first chapter over and over and over again. But so I'll do a first draft, then I'll do a first revision, then I'll do a second revision, then I'll give it to my wife and my agent, then I'll do another revision based on their notes, then I'll give it to my editor, and my editor and I will go back and forth 3 times before we go to copy edits. So yeah, I love revisions. I love doing copy edits, and no, sorry, but I do not like doing copy edits. I love revisions. Like right now, I'm doing a revision on my next novel, which is Max Rupert's fourth novel, called Forsaken Country.
Okay.
And I get to spend an hour. So my editor says, "Can you make this paragraph better in this way or that way?" And I get to spend an hour just looking at that paragraph, saying, "Okay, how can I rewrite this in a way that really makes this paragraph important and stand out?" That is the fun of writing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to read more about Max Rupert because of his brother. That was really sad. Oh, I better not say anything. But anyway, another question. Did you want to say something about that?
Well, you should read The Deep Dark Descending.
Yeah, I haven't read that yet.
or the heavens may fall, then the deep dark descending. But the deep dark descending is Max's most important story.
Okay.
And so the story that I'm writing right now is kind of him dealing with the aftermath of that book.
Okay, that's good to know. So you're talking about two, they're not really quote unquote series, but you're talking about two progressions, right? Of characters and plot,
Right.
like Joe Talbot and Lila, and then their story, and Jeremy, and then you have Max and his, I forgot his brother's name right now, but
Alexander.
Alex, didn't they call him something else? I can't remember.
They called him Alexander because he did not like being called Alex.
Okay. Well,
But
anyway,
there's also Bodhi. So basically what I did was I have these 4 characters in the Life of Barry that I wanted to keep telling their stories going forward.
mhm.
And if any of the new characters I create strike my fancy, I will tell their stories. I'm probably going to tell a story where Nikki Vang is the protagonist. I'm probably going to write one for Andy Fitch now.
Yeah, I
Um,
like that.
So I keep creating secondary characters that I like, that I want to talk about more, that I want to tell their stories.
Okay.
Because I come from a school of thought where there's this thing called the hero's journey, where
Mhm.
the protagonist changes over the course of a novel because of this crucible that I put them through. And if I had a single protagonist from book to book to book, that crucible, that change would seem unreasonable. So that now I get to jump around between my characters, give different ones a crucible, but I also get to play with, in having different characters come in and out. So in the Heavens May Fall, which is Max Rupert and Bodhi Sandin going against each other in a courtroom proceeding, I also have Lila, who's in law school, working for Bodhi as a clerk. So I bring her in for just a small role there. So I get to keep using this community as best I can.
Yeah, it sounds like something, I think William Faulkner did that a lot. He kept the characters in different books, but that's beside the point. I did have another question too about publishing. Did you ever start out self-publishing and then become published by Brown and Little is your publisher, right?
Well, technically Mulholland, which is a division of Little Brown,
Oh,
which is the
Little Brown,
division,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
which is the
Uh-huh.
division of Hachette.
Okay.
No, I knew from the very beginning that if I was going to be published, I was going to do it the traditional route.
Okay. Good.
Because I wanted to write stories and I wanted somebody else to sell them for me. I didn't want to have to be out there marketing
Yeah.
my stuff and trying to get it in bookstores and doing that part of it. So, and I wrote for my own enjoyment.
Mhm.
So if I never got published, I would still write because I enjoyed doing it. By the time The Life of Barry came out, I had a previous manuscript in the drawer, and I had a third manuscript that I just finished the first draft on when I got a contract for The Life of Barry. I was just going to keep writing stories because I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a true writer. Does anyone else have a question or anything? Because, we've got a little time.
I have a comment, or not a comment, question. I love the way your book read. And every time, just as I was reading through it, I actually sat there and I related into, I could see this being a movie.
Mhm.
Do you have that same feeling when you're writing it? You go, oh, this is a great clip. Like her chasing here, he's chasing her, Gavin's chasing her on the bridge. I can see that in a movie scene. Do you see all that in your head also?
I don't necessarily see it as a movie, but again, I come to writing as a daydreamer, as someone who's not been a prolific reader. I have never really been a big reader. I hated reading in high school. And so most of my story before I started studying writing came from movies and television. So, and I've studied screenwriting to try and improve myself as a writer. So it's not that I intentionally think this would be a good scene in a movie, but my brain thinks that way. And also because I'm a poor reader, I get bored with books in the second act a lot. And I really try and write my book so that my readers don't get bored in the second act. I think that makes it run more like a movie. I don't have the, you know, the slow, let's just sit and talk with the characters for a while. You know, if there's not something moving the story forward, I put the book down.
Well, I noticed that right off. As soon as I started reading it, it was go. I did not want to stop. So there was no slowness even from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's what I was going for.
And that segues into Liz's comment about your writing. You wanted to tell him something, Liz.
Well, I just wanted to say I like the way you write. I couldn't stop reading, couldn't put the book down. And it's like I visualize everything.
Because she mentioned you were very descriptive, very good
Yes.
at imagery, right?
Yes.
And you will find that I'm less descriptive than you might think. So for example, I read an Anne Rice story once, and
Oh,
she
I like
spent half a page talking about a gate. And I thought, this gate's really going to be important, but no, it was just a gate.
She's really
Um,
descriptive. Yeah,
She's very descriptive. What I try and do is
I like it.
I want you to visualize this. And so I'm going to give you a few clues and then let you create the picture in your own head. I would, you know, I want some touchstones, but that's about it. So for example, in The Life of Barry, Joe Talbot, when he was a kid, is looking for his mom. He walks into a bar
Mhm.
and he's describing, and he says, you know, there's bad country music playing on broken speakers, and it smelled of feckless mediocrity. Now,
Yeah, I like that.
what does feckless mediocrity smell like? I don't know, but in my reader's head, they've all been someplace where they have, you know, this place is just mediocre and it's feckless, and I want you to then go to that place in your own head.
Yeah.
So I describe actually a lot less than what people think, but I want to give you some touchstones to create your own picture.
It's a very creative way that you do that.
Yeah.
Well, I find that there's some authors who, when they get too descriptive, I step out of the story and I'm going, okay, he said that the room is 20 feet by 10 feet. Now I'm trying to picture that in my head. And so I just soon say, it was the size of a train car, you know, that something like that.
Yeah, that's a better way to imagine it for your reader. So I guess what we could do. Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody else have any other question or thought or anything about the author? It could. Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
Hi. So I teach fourth grade, and writing is one of the things that I teach. Would you have any advice for young aspiring writers?
I would have lots of advice for them. They will ignore it, but outlining is an important part of the process for me.
Mhm.
And I come to this, like I said, as a daydreamer. So I spend a lot of time with a sketchbook in front of me, just daydreaming the story, so that when I sit down to write it, I have every plot point laid out, how I think this is going to work best. Now, I shift them around, I change things as I go, but I always have this map already there. Then when I am sitting down to actually write the chapter, I'm not thinking what's going to happen next. I'm thinking, how's the best way to tell this next plot point? How can I create an arc within the chapter? How can I change the value for the character in terms of, at the beginning of the scene, they feel, you know, that one way. At the end of the scene, they feel a different way. If, you know, they feel smart at the beginning, they feel confused at the end. They feel happy at the beginning, they feel sad at the end. You know, I'm thinking of the mechanics of how to do that chapter, and by having that outline map there, that helps. That makes all the difference for me. Revisions. No one has ever read a book that was written with no revisions. We all revise. When I was in grade school and high school, I never revised. I wrote it because I didn't want to write it more than once and give it to the teacher. And that's in part why I was not a good student. If you have a passion for it, study the craft. There is so much more to writing than simply telling a good story. It's
Yeah.
as Robert McKee says, it's a good story well told. If you have a good story to start with, now figure out how to tell it well. There's so much to the craft and techniques of writing that I didn't know when I started this journey that make it fun.
I meant to ask you now that you said that. You said you didn't like reading. You weren't a great student, which sounds like all the makings of a non-writer, you know, but you ended up writing all these wonderful books. And I've read 3 so far, and they're really great. So what my question is, where did you learn all this? What you're just telling us right now, did you just go to a lot of classes? I know you did an MFA, didn't you? You did an MFA.
I did most of an MFA. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
actually have the degree, but I've got like 3/4. I took a lot of classes.
So you learned a lot from that.
Well, here's what I did. I went to college as a theater major.
Oh.
Because again, I didn't think I was smart enough to actually be in college, but as a theater major, I didn't think you had to be smart to be a theater major. So I just barely got in college as a theater major. But once I got there, I realized that if I, applied myself, like the teachers always told me, I could actually do well. And I found that I had a talent or a liking for words. So I got a degree in journalism. Then I got a degree in law. And as soon as I got out of law school, I missed that creative side that I had found a passion for in theater. And so I wanted to exercise my creativity. I started writing, and then I started reading books on writing, and I read a lot of books on technique. Then I started taking classes at the Iowa Summer Writers Festival. Then I started taking classes at the Loft Literary Center. I studied and played with it for 20 years before I got serious about writing a novel to publish.
Wow, 20 years. And you were a lawyer for 10 years, right?
25.
You were an attorney for 25 years?
Yeah, so while I was
Wow.
practicing law, my hobby was studying writing. So
Wow.
I would, I'd take whatever opportunities I had to go take a writing class in Minneapolis or Iowa, or I then entered the MFA program in my local Mankato college, and I just took the classes that I wanted to take to make me a better writer. That's why I didn't actually finish the degree. I took poetry classes. I took, the novel writing classes, fiction, screenwriting. But when I got into the technical writing and that kind of stuff you had to take, I just said, I've already got a doctorate degree. I don't need more letters after my name.
Yeah.
So, but it was all helpful. And because I never actually went into it thinking I'm going to become a published author and make a living at this, I was just doing it for my own fun. So I was, hitting it here or there and trying to become a better writer for my own benefit.
It's good to know, because a lot of people think they have to have all these degrees just to start writing. And, it can become a foil.
I really think I learned more outside of the MFA program than inside the MFA program. The MFA program is more me putting up what I had learned against how they taught at the MFA level. I learned by the technical aspect. So, I can tell you, 12 ways to slow down pace, 8 ways to pick up pace. I have a list of things that I could do to add tension to dialogue. So I had all these technical things that after you start using them for a while, they become second nature. Where, in the MFA program, it was more ethereal. It was more erudite. How do you compare Faulkner to Hemingway and that kind of thing, which was fine and dandy, but the way I learned, it really didn't help me as much as some of these other classes did.
Wow. Well, that's very impressive. I guess we're probably going to run out of time again, and I don't want to get cut off again. So again, if you haven't gotten it, I don't know how you're reading it. It's really good. And I would start, like he said, like Alan said, I would start with this book, The Life We Bury. This was a really good book to start with. And we'll go to your site. What is your site so we can know?
It's alaneskens.com.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I went there.
And if you haven't read Nothing More Dangerous, that's the book I spent 20 years working on I set it aside. Then I wrote The Life of Barry and 4 more novels. Then I went back, reworked it. I outlined it from beginning to end, wrote it. And that's the novel that I actually became a writer to write. That's my favorite one.
And tell me the name again.
Nothing More Dangerous.
Okay, because I'm gonna put it in the chat. So if anybody would like to, they can get a hold of it right away.
It's my
Oh.
most literary novel.
Okay.
As soon as I typed in nothing, it popped up. That must mean it's really got the good, what do you call that? Hits on your site.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
fantastic. Well, is there anything anyone would like to add before we leave? Anything?
Anne.
Oh,
I
Ann, I'm
just-
sorry, I can't hardly see you. Go ahead, Ann.
I just have a quick question in case we get cut off. What type of environment makes you feel the most creative? Quiet,
Good question.
music in the background, middle of the night?
Quiet, but then going for a run.
Oh,
When I'm on a treadmill or in the summertime when I'm out running, I have my most creative ideas because I'm not trying. I'm not looking at a screen. I'm not looking at a white page. I have some music playing in the background for my cadence, and I just let my mind drift, and I come up with some of my best ideas when I'm running.
mhm. That's a good one. That's good. I think they were all great questions, and I wish I had more time. You said you're going to give us all this whole evening, so we were going to keep you for the whole evening. But anyway, it was really wonderful talking to you. And I guess before I say goodbye, let's see, is there anything else we need to find out about Alan? Go to his site. I just put down in the chat his website, and you can go there and look at all his books in order, right? It's in order, Ellen?
I have a page that says, here's how to read my books, and
Okay.
kind of lays them out in terms of, chronologically how they play out, or if you want to follow Max versus Joe or Joe versus Max,
Yeah.
I have that laid out there.
Yeah. I
Because
like
it can be
Joe,
kind of confusing.
but Joe's the journalist, and you kind of started out that way. But Max is the detective, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of like the detective, the excitement of the detective life.
Well, he's coming back.
Yeah, good. Okay, well, I guess that's it for today, and we are so honored to have Alan with us. I'm so glad you came. Really am thankful that you came with us today.
Well, thanks for
And
inviting me.
Thank you for being here. And I'm sure everyone really enjoyed your being here, right, everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, maybe the next.
happy
book
to.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. We'll do it again. Okay, we'll have you back.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Thank
everybody,
you.
thank
Thank
you for being
you.
here and really enjoyed this. Thank you, Ellen.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Okay. Oops. I cut myself off. Hey.
No, you didn't.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Oh, wait.
Good.
Oh, I still have the group? Oh, I cut off Sean.
Yeah.
No, he left.
Oh, did he? He's
John left?
Yeah, I guess Sean.
Alan left. Okay, Sean left.
Here we are.
Yeah, Shannon's gonna get up early.
Oh,
I'm
you.
gonna
I had
get-
I had trouble.
It's 9 o'clock here.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
I had
over there.
trouble telling Alan and Sean
Yeah.
apart. I decided the one with
I know.
glasses was our author.
I know. Sean looks like, I'm sure Sean got some good ideas because he wants to be an author too. So, yeah.
They had similar expressions and the beard, of course, but
And it's funny, he said he
Yeah,
wasn't a
that's
great
interesting.
reader. That was funny because I wasn't either when I was a kid. Not that I should be proud of it, but
you had more things just feeding naturally into your head rather than book learning.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like his journey was perfect for him,
Yeah.
obviously, because we have the
I'll
books to
He-
prove it.
be honest, he does not look that old for being an attorney for 25 years.
I know.
I was going to ask him, he started practicing when he was 5.
Yeah, 'cause
You
he
should've
did
said
25
that.
years as
You
he's
should
an
have
attorney
said
for
that.
25 years and he's been writing for 10. That's
Yeah.
35. He's had to go to school. that puts him at least 65. He doesn't look,
Not
he
at
doesn't
all.
look a day
No,
over 40.
He didn't say he was in writing for 10. He'd been writing through the whole time. He was an attorney for 25 years. So,
Yeah, but look at his books that he published, the dates on them.
oh, I didn't really look. Anyway,
Yeah.
well, I read The Guise of Another. That's a really good book about, I can't tell you guys, but that's a good book. I really like that one.
Did
And,
you finish The Stolen Hours?
I finished The Stolen Hours too.
Did
That
you?
was good too.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think I like, what? Jim, did you say so?
No, I just said I finished it.
We're still on here if you want to come back.
What is
We're
our
talking about
next
you.
book?
No,
You know-
just come on back for a moment. Okay, bye.
We don't get a chance to experiment, but maybe when I got in the waiting room, it started the clock.
I think it did, because I
So,
came
because we
in,
got cut off in 15 minutes. I got on
Right.
about 4:30 and then I was
Yeah.
ready to go.
I
I
should,
did the
I
same.
mean, sorry. I mean to
So
tell
all of us need
that
to log in and
right at
right.
5. Yeah. And
I go,
Shannon's
oh,
gone,
it's my fault.
yeah, it's her fault. It's Edie's fault. She came on at what,
But we-
like 4:30?
But he was so good natured, he came right back in and without it.
I
without
know,
us.
I really, I was afraid he wouldn't like that idea, but hey, he didn't have a problem with it at all. What happened to Sean, Michael, Jim? My God.
I'm here.
Writing all his books. Yeah, get that back on there. Now you look like
She's-
Ellen again.
Edie said that you look like Alan Eskens. You could have been his son with your dills on.
Great.
Anyway, so poor Kathleen has.
You're
to go
still
to bed.
muted, Sean.
What? Oh, he's muted. Oh,
Oh,
There.
hold on.
oh, there you
I
go.
was asking so many questions. No one heard my questions?
No,
Just now.
too late now. You should have asked before.
I thought I was
wish
talking to him
could
the whole time.
have-
I thought I was talking to him the whole time.
Huh? I wished I could have asked him a whole bunch of questions because I got my stupid manuscript that I got to work on and revise. I've already revised it like 100 times and I haven't even had anybody look at it yet. But
So Lydia, what is
Yes.
our next book?
our next book, I don't know yet. I have a list of books. I thought we were going to use Dead Weight, but I'm not sure now. I kind
Wait,
of want
how about Nothing More Dangerous? No.
Yeah,
that would be good. You know, you guys can read that on your own.
I'm going to read it.
Yeah, I want to finish the one I'm reading right now, which is The Hidden Shadows of his. And it's about Joe Talbert and his brother Jeremy, the one that had, well, anyway,
Autistic.
yes, the autistic boy. And
I was wondering where he was because he's not in this story. I don't
he's
think
not,
there-
but
mentioned.
he's in that other one, The Hidden Shadows. So
Mhm.
anyway, what was I going to say? I'm not sure yet, Ann. What I have to do is I have to relook at the list. We have a list of books since last year we were supposed to do, and we haven't done it. And Kathy was the only one actually that gave me her preferences. So if you would like, I would send out the list and you guys tell me what your preferences are, and then I'll go by that the next book. Okay? Does that make sense?
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. So I'll hold on to Kathleen's, and then Edie, Ann, Liz, and Sean and Jim, send me, after I send you the list, send me which one you'd like next. And then I'll go by that, how many votes are for this one, that one, Okay?
Next.
Good.
I know.
After,
I'm so
after,
weird.
after.
Next.
I think I'm autistic, to be honest with you. But
You
anyway,
think? Just kidding.
I probably am. I don't know.
I have a personal question for my sister Kathy. Aren't you freezing your butts off back there?
Jim, this is not the place. Don't start talking with your.
Aren't you freezing your
Face
butt?
by me.
It's 11 degrees there.
Shannon is probably trying to call Kathleen to talk to her about this. What do you
No,
think?
she's on her way to bed. She's got to get up at 5:30.
Oh,
I
okay.
was waiting for Paul to ask a question. He was kind of like, buzzing around back there in the
You
back.
see him
Which
coming in and
Paul?
brushing his teeth?
Oh,
Hey,
I
Alan,
didn't see
what kind of toothbrush do you like, Alan?
I didn't see him. I didn't even see him. I was too nervous because I didn't have time to organize my thoughts because I had work and So I didn't have everything in order, like the questions and stuff. So I was just, kind of,
I think it went really well. I think he was
Oh, it
very,
went well.
Yeah.
he was very comfortable with it, and he was very, like, he just seemed very open.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. We've had some pretty good people, huh? Lori Day Raider was good too. She was, Lori Raider Day was good too. Oh, we're running out of time now. So it just told
Okay.
me, running out of time. Okay, so you guys. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go-
well, it says 9 minutes left.
Oh,
That's yours.
Time left,
What a
9 minutes. It's
tattletale.
just mine? Okay.
So are we going
Okay.
to, email any more book suggestions, or are we just going to be sending you preferences for what we'd like to read, or what?
What's
Yeah,
on the
I
list
thought I
already?
was
We only
clear
have
with
like
that.
1 or 2 books left, right?
No, we have like about, I don't know, 6 books or something. We have quite a
Hamnet, there's one about the ship that sinks
Dead Wake,
before,
Till We Have Faces.
Oh, that was the one. Was that the one that who put that one in? The boat.
Sabra, but she's never here.
So that one's gone. I'm just kidding.
That book's out now. No.
That one's sunk. Yeah.
But it sounds like a good book, so I left it on the
Okay.
list.
We're just gonna go back to that list and vote on what we want to read next, basically off
Yes,
that list.
yeah, make your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from my list. Okay.
I think I already bought that boat, the sinking boat. So
Dead Wake, the sinking.
I don't want to
boat.
throw it away.
No, don't throw it away. Okay, so if you will just number your preferences by the list I send you, and then I'll tell you which book we'll read. Okay.
Okay. Well, if you get around to Till We Have Faces, we won't be inviting the author.
No, because C.S. Lewis is no longer with us unless we have a telegram to heaven. But that is a good book. That's a really good book. I really like that book. But anyway, and if we only have like 6 left, remember we have 11 months left in this year. And what we were talking about, Ann and I were talking about before, is a month is too long. We should talk about this. I just thought of it. A month is too long to read a book, have questions, and then be bright and clear by the time we get an author. And I'm going to try to get more authors. So we're thinking we might do it like every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. What do you think? Vote. 2 weeks.
Minimum 3.
Three.
Everybody? 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks. So 4 to 2, 3 weeks. Okay. Every 3 weeks we'll have a book. I can't see you in the dark. You're in the dark. All I can see is partial fingers. I don't know. Anyway.
Might be based a little bit on the length. You said it to be less than 500. It
What?
might depend on the length. If we get a short book,
Oh,
we
I
might
see
make
what you're
it
saying.
2 weeks. If it's a long book, we might need to make 4 weeks.
Okay.
Or we
that
could
sounds
average
good.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you
I
have
don't
to line up the author when you can. That's,
Yeah.
you don't have to do that, but
We're
that
not gonna
has to
have-
be,
Yeah.
really
But
plotted.
I don't think we're gonna work on having too long of books, like for 4
okay,
weeks.
right,
But 3 weeks, average. This book was what?
right.
This is pretty average, I guess, right? So this was a
Mhm.
3-week book, right? About 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Week and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah,
A week and a half? You read it quick. You must be a
I like
fast.
it. It goes fast.
Oh, well, that's true. I've read a book in one day, that The Returned. I don't know if anybody read that book. I read it within a day, and that was, sometimes you do that. But
how many houses did you sell that day?
None. And I've been getting really clogged up with that. I can't even talk anymore. I don't even remember words. But anyway, yeah. So we'll talk about that. 2
The
to
only- the
3
only-
weeks at a less. What?
The only thing I was gonna say, the only problem sometimes is I do digital, and sometimes you can't get the book right away. You might have to wait 5 days or 10 days. I think it's important to, whatever book we
Library
pick,
digital, huh?
yeah, we research it to find how easy it is to get the book, because we spend the first weeks running around, maybe to the store, this and that, and then we've already taken a week before we actually start reading. It's not like it just appears for us.
Well, you'll just have to suffer. No.
So whatever book we pick, Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay, well,
Audiobook it is.
Speed read.
I have been
Once you get the
thinking
book.
about this digital thing, and I like the digital, but I feel a little bit guilty. I don't know about you guys, about not buying books that we read. Not all of them. We don't have to buy books. I like to go on the digital, and then if it's really good, I end up buying it, like this one, The Life We Bury. I bought it twice, I think. I'm gonna give one to Liz. And then, of course, The Stolen Hours. I like to keep these books in my library. If anybody can see my library, it's very big. And
So nice.
so,
That's
so,
a-
Mine's
that's
bigger.
just- That's
Oh,
just
yeah,
wallpaper.
yeah, Edie's got a big library too, but you
But
know, I
since I've
just,
only read about 5% of them, that's not
I know, I'm the same
lots to
way.
write home about.
You're like me, we just love books. But so if you do it digitally, which right now I'm doing his other book digitally through the library, and it's really cool because they come up real quick, like Liz does.
With a
too.
Kindle?
Yeah.
No,
Oh, no, with the
Sabra
library.
did our friend
Okay.
Sabra, she's not here, but she does Kindle
Right.
all the time. And is that what you do, Anne? The Kindle or the library?
I just do Libby.
Oh, Libby. Well,
Okay.
that's the library. That's from the library.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I do too, Libby.
You
And
can't take notes for that one, right? I mean, I guess you can make private, separate.
yeah,
lists of
you can make
notes.
your own
But
notes.
you can highlight and make comments and stuff in Kindle, which it's a nice idea. I've never done it.
What
that
about
right.
you, Kathleen? Do you buy, what do you do? Do you do digital too?
No.
The library?
I like to turn the pages.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Me
I go to
too.
the library. If I really can't get the book, I'll buy it.
Okay, yeah, that's how I do. And Sean, you were doing Audible too, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I don't like
Um,
Audible either.
that was the first time I tried it, and I did not read any of it because I kept telling myself I can turn it on and listen to it for a few hours, and I never did it. So I didn't feel like I retained as much information from the chapters
Right.
I listened to. It's
Me
kind of
too.
it's really cool, like listening to it and like hearing it, but I just didn't retain as much information. I never got back around to it. When you
Right.
read it, you retain a lot more details, in my opinion.
I think so too. I think it's true.
So I'm probably
Yeah.
gonna go back to reading.
Yeah,
I'd
good.
like to listen to books while I'm hiking. It takes my mind off the
On what?
grueling efforts.
Well, you know, Edie, I was actually going to ask you. So I listen to a lot of podcasts and like news and like information on audio, and I retain concepts, but details.
Right.
This is the first time I've ever done a book, and I was not retaining details. So as much as I do when I read, like literally like word for word. So I was kind of,
Right.
I don't know, maybe I should try it again, but I kind of struggle with it.
Yeah, no, don't do the Audible again. I don't like it either. I got a real quick question before we get cut off. I was thinking, I don't know what you guys
2
think.
minutes.
I was thinking about purchasing this where we can talk long if we want to come
Mm.
without an author and just hang out for an hour or an hour and a half.
30% off for the next couple of days. I don't know when it'll come
You
off.
should set up a
It's
business plan
30%
first.
saving right now.
Okay. Oh, my son's
The
saying
business
set up
plan,
a
what? To
see it as a
talking
business.
about purchasing Zoom, right?
You know?
No, just purchasing it for use, like we want in case we have 100 people, which I don't think we will, but you know, in case we have a
That's
lot of
Zoom.
people and we
It's-
want to be on for a long time, we can, but I have to pay for it once a
No,
year.
I wouldn't think about that. I think you should keep trying to grow it and get more people involved, and then go to like a subscription based, you know, IB Books Cafe, where you have like the 10 to 12 people that are VIP, which will be us, who pay a premium
To be
price.
us.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not paying anything because we've been involved since the beginning. And then,
And then we should charge the others. Yes.
you charge everyone else like just to be a fly on the wall. It's almost like a conference, like listening to a writer talk. And you charge
Yeah.
us something super light, super
Yeah, like
easy.
$5.
So if you
a
do that,
year
then
or
you pay
something.
the writer.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
right?
You pay
But
Yeah,
then
them.
they
you
have to
pay
be more than
the-
$5 a year.
Yeah, just something cheap, but just to get people involved. Like a lot of people would like to probably just listen and hear him talk.
And then talk to us later.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah,
you
that'd
can-
be nice. Like right now, what we're doing.
I
Okay.
think you
that
have a-
sounds
Okay,
good.
less than a minute.
yeah.
Okay, we have
All
less
right.
than a minute. Okay, we gotta go. I'll talk to you later and have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Kathleen, I know you're going to sleep. Everybody else,
Yep.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
At dinner time.
Through text,
Bye.
through text. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh.